Apologies for the brief absence there, folks. You've missed not much apart from Rainer Costello jumping into pit lane to grab that short amount of fuel that he required to get himself home to the checkered
put him
flag.
a long way down.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's put him down in 20th position, and that is championship defining as far as I'm concerned, because the gap to Rehan Leonage was already starting to balloon. Now it's going to blow out excessively. So that's a championship defining moment for Rainer Costello. And what it means, Matt Davis, is that Sean McNamara, provided that he stays where he is, will take second away from him tonight. And the leader of the championship will still be young Rehan Leonage.
Again, I haven't been too much up to date with what's actually happening in the championship. Unfortunately, Zach Caven, Wednesday Night Motorsports and obviously Real Life have kind of taken away that from me. I'm usually up to key with what exactly is going on your Tuesday Night Motorsport, but Leonage is just a strong competitor at the moment with just successful drives. We all know that success, or not success, but what's the word I'm looking for, Zach? It's consecutive placings. You know, it's being consistent.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Correct.
The consistency from Leonage. It's exactly like this. It's literally looking at a mini Laz right now. It's the consistency coming from Rehan is just exactly what Lassett did to be able to take out that nail-biting championship 2 seasons ago at the start of the year. It's absolutely unbelievable. So if Rehan can keep this up, who knows? We might be seeing another Leonage on the championship leader there.
Absolutely, and we know that he's going to be a huge threat come December 12 as well. We cannot wait to see how that.
I mean, that's going to be a pairing and a half.
100%. I mean, Lads hasn't been in our series for a little while here. He's taking some time off. He's calling the shots for Rehan. Of course, there's a few things going on, but don't think for a second that he will be underprepared for December 12. He'll be ready to fire. There's no doubt about that. Let's have a look here. We're on lap 40 or 45. Geez, that went quick. We're in the closing stages. 5 laps to go next time by the line. It's currently 6 laps to go for Dylan Rudd. We're watching the completion of the previous lap, and we're riding on board with the 196 of Cameron Jones. Jones sitting down the order at the moment in position number 20. He's got Craig Schultz and Rainer Costello for company there. There's Costello going through. Schultz has been displaced by Jones, and Jones can have a crack at trying to catch Costello now. Look at the logjam of traffic on that run up towards turn 2. Rudd, McNamara, Dyke, Leonage, and Delaney, the top 5. So Blake's going to... Oh, hang on. We've got more dramas here for the 69 on this particular occasion. This is how it happened. 469, I should say, Brian Goods. So here it is on replay as they head down into the right-hander at the end of the back straight. He's going to try and limp it back to pit lane for us and keep us caution-free. But if we were to get a caution now, geez, wouldn't that set up an epic conclusion to this race? Through they come again. Rudd, McNamara, 9-5, looking for a 1-2 here. What a superb performance it's been. Jamie Dyke, however, Matt Davis, last season, the Enduro Cup, he managed to win that. The Triple Crown, I should say, not the Enduro Cup, the Triple Crown. I'm having a shocker tonight, aren't I?
And, don't worry, I'm just about as spaced as you are, okay?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'll have a chat to you off air. There's a fair bit going on at the moment. But in saying all of that as well, he won the Triple Crown. He flew under the radar for much of that. He's been a little bit more competitive this season. Didn't get the results he needed in the first couple of weeks of the season, but is hitting his straps. Another podium coming his way, and in a sprint race, and he'll be very chuffed about that, I would think, as we have a look at some toing and throwing and some slipstreaming further back in the pack here. Here's Simon Vella in 17th position, all over the back of David Coleman, Ben Morris, David Nash and Jamie Davis. So that's a 5-way fight for 13th. And just have a look at how tight they are bunched at the moment. Nice move from Vella down on the inside. Can he hold it around the outside and convert it? Yes is the answer to that. Nicely done. Down on the inside again. But the problem is this next corner. And he's going to lose it. So Again, just proving how difficult overtaking is on this circuit. Oh, geez, forceful on the inside and got it done. David Nash off the circuit as well, just behind those guys. So Nash off the circuit, but back on. So we'll stay green. But we've got Vella, Costello, and Jones all in this group. And in between them is David Coleman thinking, geez, I've got my work cut out for me. 4 laps to go.
The laps have just flown by, really. That's one thing I love about the Mid-Ohio circuit as well as they came in, is that even though you give them, for instance, 45 laps, it's still over. We're just outside the hour now. It's just over 9:35, but it's Costello up there. No! Undone! He'll lose out to Jones as well. Costello got too hungry on that one.
Applaud the commitment, but he was a little bit too committed. He had it crossed up. Excellent save, though.
Oh, fantastic save. On the grass, crossed up, rear brakes locked. I mean, that takes a lot to come back from, but to also not take out Coleman as well.
Yeah,
that's incredible car control there. I mean, unfortunately, he took the dive. He pays the consequence, but amazing car control by Rainer Costello.
Here's the thing too. He won't bear the brunt of a penalty from race control, I wouldn't think, because it wasn't Coleman that got compromised by that moment. It was him. So race control will probably just deem that a racing incident, play on, and we've got.
I don't even think they touched it though.
I'm not sure in the end. We'd have to have a look on replay. It was no contact at all.
There we go. How about that?
Even more impressive considering how little real estate Rayner had to play with in that situation. Coleman did not make it easy for him, and Brian Good's in pit lane on that note. Now, on the subject of classified finishes, I keep talking about that because it's important. We are going to have 26 classified finishes tonight, ladies and gentlemen. There'll be a collective of 6 not scoring championship points here. At the front of the field, at the helm, at the top of the town, it is Dylan Rudd from Sean McNamara and Jamie Dyke. Dyke under pressure from Rehan Leonage as well, though, so don't count out a late change here from Rehan Leonage. Having a crack at Jamie Dyke. He's right there. You can see them. They're just behind Dylan Rudd, who has put in another superb drive. There's that battle for third. And once again, poor old Rehan's got Fishy to the front and Fishy to the back. And he's stuck in the middle as they make their way onto the main straight. 2 to go in Mid-Ohio. The 5th last round of the season, the 3rd last sprint round, and of course next week's super sprint racing from Road America, which is a tantalising prospect. There's no doubt about that. And that was a little moment for the 017 of Brian Borg, I think it was, wasn't it? So a little bit of a moment for him coming out of turn 1. He's all over the back of David Kirby there. This is the battle for 6th and 7th, and it's still very much alive and active with 2 laps to go. So it's been, as I said at the start, they take a while to warm up. It had been a little bit processional. It had been a little bit follow the leader sort of thing. But eventually these guys do get the elbows out and go hardball racing. And Brian Borg is still trying to find a way by David Kirby here in the closing stages. We mentioned at the top, JP and I, Matt Davis, that we'd love to see David Kirby have a good result, and it looks like he's finally going to get that, but not without one hell of a fight from Brian Borg, who had a little nosedive down on the inside and then decided the better was to stay in and follow him through as they make their way around. Last lap board in the air this time for Dylan Rudd, who's onto the main straight. Last lap, white flag in the air. Barney's hard at work. Just another superb performance from Dylan Rudd. How he will be ruining the fact that he missed that round earlier in the season at Long Beach, because he'd be taking the fight well and truly to Rehan Leonage at this point in time if it weren't for that. But this will help with Rainer Costello having a shocker. This will very much help Dylan Rudd close the gap to him. And it just makes things a little bit more difficult for Rainer to get back in the fight, a little bit easier, a little bit more room to breathe, I guess, room to move for Rehan Leonage. Although that being said, the gap, I think, will be about the same. It's just the driver will be different. Matthew Scholes, Chris Barnes off the circuit at the moment. It'll be McNamara closest to him, not Costello. But take nothing away from 9.5 Sim Sport. They have done a superb job tonight in Lexington, Ohio. We've got the 605 off the circuit rejoining right now. And
That is
the
goals.
replay of the incident. And, oh, no.
Emma Barnes.
Yep. Bang. Whooshka.
Oh, that's
massive
a
crash.
big crash.
And that's a written off race car. I'd say from Natty
I'd definitely
Skulls.
say if that was a real life incident, I believe there'd be wheels flying everywhere, which way direction.
Absolutely. Last turn, checkered flag. Dylan Rudd does it again. This time he gets the job done at Mid-Ohio. Oh, what a superb performance that was from Dylan Rudd from first until last. And JP said it at the start, if this guy pulls a gap, he's gone. He didn't pull away to the extent we might have expected, but it was comfortable, to say the least. Second to Sean McNamara, third to Jamie Dyke. The championship leader, Rehan Leonage, was fourth, and Blake Delaney, with the one-stop strategy, rounds out the top five. That was a gutsy call from Delaney, no doubt, Matt Davis. I mean, he just didn't have the pace to get by these guys at the front in the end, but to pull off a one-stopper around here, gutsy effort, ballsy effort, probably brought undone in terms of his strategy. The time that he might have compensated on the racetrack, unfortunately, you know, it might have synced up nicer with the guys going in under a green flag pit stop. That didn't eventuate. So a case of what might have been there, but three top fives finishes on the trot for Delaney, and he's having a good run.
Yeah, they're definitely having a fantastic run from Delaney. I mean, Dylan Rudd is out for vengeance. We know he missed the round at Long Beach, and he's capitalised so far. He's had the poles, he's had the finishes, he's had the bonus points as well. I mean, the bonus points aren't counting for as much of a comeback as what they used to, but definitely he's a man on a mission. Let's put it that way. And same with those Fishy boys. I mean, those boys are on a mission at the moment to really prove it. And Dyke and Delaney, those guys are just week in, week out, really giving it to the likes of Leonage, McNamara, and those boys. So, but I mean, Dylan Rudd coming across the start finish line. It's a common occurrence at the moment for a victory beat-out from him. But let's sit back and enjoy, I guess.
Taking to the grass to finish it off as well.
So, Chris Kisby would not be happy.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. No,
that's all right. Spirit of Tasmania, I'd mark that a 4. Yeah, 4 out of 10 so far that Dylan Rudd, the Spirit of Tasmania, would say.
Brilliant stuff. Hey, Ludo Lacroix, better known as Jamie Dyke, is going to join us very shortly. We'll have Dylan Rudd and Sean McNamara in the house any tick of the clock as well. But in the meantime, I think it's probably an opportune moment for us to have a look at the race results here, Matt Davis, and
definitely
see how Holden just wiped the floor with Ford tonight, really, to be perfectly honest. And well done to Dylan Rudd, a superb performance, an awesome drive. McNamara, Dyke, Leonage, and Delaney made up the top five. Brian Borg got back to 6, got by David Kirby there in the closing stages. We didn't see that. So David Kirby ended up finishing there in position number 7. There's the leaderboard. So most positions gained, Brian Borg. Brilliant performance from him. Up 23 positions from 29th to 6th. But in the end, it was Rudd, McNamara, Dyke, Leonage, and Delaney making up the top 5. 4 Holdens in the top 5, 7 in the top 10. David Kirby was 7th. Hayden Norris, Rick Sibra, and Dean Alessi. Good run for Dean Alessi. Good run for Hayden Norris. Good run for Rick Sibra. Guys that you'd normally expect to see 11 to 15. They're at the tail end of the 10 tonight at the expense of Jamie Davis, Simon Vella, and Rainer Costello. So that pit stop saw him come back out on the track in 20th. How hard did he have to pedal and work to get himself up into position number 13? Good fight back from the youngster, but again, a case of not thinking about the strategy and the potential to change it on the go. Behind Costello was David Coleman, Craig Schultz, Dylan Pereira, then Brenton Nitschke, Chris Barnes, and Cameron Jones. Matthew Scholes was there in 21st position. 22nd for Robbie. Sorry, 20th was Matthew Scholes, my apologies. 21st was Robbie Bradbury. Then Ben Morrison, David Nash. Not too sure what happened to Morris in the end, but he ended up well down the order for his liking. Bruce Tunnock, Brian Good, and Lindsay Hobbs made the finishing order. He was 5 laps down Hobbs in all of that. Long list of retirements: Sam Noble, Robert Crisdale, Simon Chadwick, Justin Pennefather, Scott Barchin, and Peter Crossingham. Now, interesting to note as well, Matthew Scholes caught up in that late race incident, still took the checkered flag. So, I mean, iRacing's got a little bit of work to do on their supercar model, but it's not the first time we've mentioned that tonight. Let's rip into the post-race show here as well. We've got about 45 minutes to have a chat to the boys here. After what was a superb night at the office. And Matt Davis, I'm sure you've got a question to fire the way of the boys, so stick around for me. And we'll even get a preview of tomorrow night with the Super 2 East Series as well before you go. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 48 was the race time in the end, just for anyone playing along there at home. And of course, that was by virtue of the fact that we had the safety car out on circuit for 3.5 laps or so. We've got Sean McNamara, we've got Jamie Dyke, Dylan Rudd. I'm not sure, we will hopefully have him here in just a moment, but let me go. Actually, Sean McNamara, let me go to you first. A 1-2 for the team, mate. An awesome result.
Yeah, stunning. Really good result. It was great racing all night, as it has been all season up the front there. So didn't quite get quality together for myself. Happy with P4 though, but yeah, no, really stoked. And that safety car just fell at the right time, and a couple didn't take it, and paid to our advantage. So yeah, well done to Dill, and great race for Jamie as well. And coming through from, I think he was 8th or 9th in quali, and on the podium. So yeah, it was a really good night.
I'm going to come back to you in a moment, Sean, and your teammates just joined us here as well. But before that, Jamie Dyke, can I just bring you in as the spokesperson tonight for Fishy Motorsport? Well done to yourself on third, obviously. Only 4 seconds off the winners in the end. Well done. Awesome performance. But can we have a chat about Blake Delaney? 3 top 5s on the trot for him, and a genuine one-stop strategy game plan. He saved enough fuel to get an extra 3 laps out of the tank at the top of the race than anybody. Safety car falls as soon as he pits and fuels for the run home. Had it not been for the safety car, was there an outside chance that he might have been on fuel saving alone, been able to undercut everybody that made it a 2-stop race and got the job done?
He actually kind of screwed up his pit stop. He was
No.
He was destined to come out in front in the lead with all the saving that he did, and he saved too much, and then he put too much in, and I think he didn't take his tyres with his fuel. No. And that just sent him backwards.
Right. Yep. Okay. So it's a tyre thing. So if it's a one-stop strategy, remember to take the tyre. Okay. We've got that noted down for next week. Jamie, I'll come back to you in just a moment, mate, because still 3rd and 5th. Great night for the team. But Dylan Rudd, that's more like it, mate. You had to work hard for it. The boys kept you honest there for a long while. The safety car helped that, obviously. Bunched the pack back up. But once they gave you a second and a half, it was just a case of maintaining that advantage, consolidating the lead, and making them fight for the minors, mate. You did it superbly. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. It was a good thing. I had a good race. Just had the pace to manage the gap to behind, and after the safety car. So once I had the 2-second, I kind of just managed it from there. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with how my performance was tonight. So yeah.
Indeed. Just having a look through a couple of the comments here on social media, see if there's anything that we can pick up from those guys. Not at this point in time. Actually, no. There was a comment here from Simo Sime time, SIME time. Yeah, 21. Who was the alpha in the com box? I'm not even going to touch that with a barge pole, Matt Davis, because that would be trying to divide you and me. Not touching with a barge pole.
Look, I'm going to hand that over. Who's the alpha in the comms box? I'd definitely hand the reins over to you, Zach. I mean, you're definitely the man of the moment. I mean, you're the mentor to me and many, many others. So it's definitely the leader would have to be you, mate.
Well, I'm pretty sure I got referred to as the Basil Zemplis of sim racing last week. The stream comments that are coming in, they're top shelf. The interaction from the audience is fantastic stuff.
Keep them coming though. I like them.
Now, a question for a fan question here for Sean McNamara. Actually, where did McNamara find that pace? Bloody hell! Kind regards, Jamie Dyke.
Look, the reality is those fishy boys have been 2 weeks in a row, I think, with two fishy cars on the podium. So look, I just had a few more beers this week and focused on tonight, so it was good.
Mate, maybe if you have one more extra McNamara, then it might lead you to an extra position up front.
Yeah, no, actually, I had a bit of a quiet week. This is a track. It's a bit like I think I said last week, the week before. These tracks are a little bit like your street circuits. You really got to hustle the car, and they suit me. So, yeah, happy to race on these things all the time.
Exactly right. Dylan, just let's come back to you as the race winner here. We've only asked you one question that has gone completely off rails. But in saying all of that, mate, the safety car couldn't have come at a better time for everybody. We were talking about the prospect of some strategy play because the fuel numbers allowed everyone to be a bit flexible with when they stopped, how they stopped, what they did. But in the end, most of you went straight down the line as soon as that safety car was deployed on lap 23.
Yeah, it was a couple laps earlier before my pit window opened. But yeah, I just took the stop, the free stop essentially, and then just saved under the safety car. So yeah, it meant we could go flat out to the end.
All right, I need to ask because it'll help us paint the picture of the night that was. Were you and Sean planning for tyres on the second stop, planning an earlier stop, planning a full run? What was the game plan in the 9.5 shed?
My pit strategy was just to run the tank to the end on the first stop and then hit around lap 27, 28 for second stop and take tyres in second stop.
Okay, so short run, second stint, and then long run home. And it ended up being that way just a couple of laps earlier than you planned. Sean, what about you, mate?
Yeah, I went tyres first stop because I know Rehan's pretty.
Yes.
When he jumps in a bit early, he tends to go tyres. So I thought, which probably it's a bit presumptuous to assume it, but I thought, I'll grab tyres, and I only had 3-4 laps on them when the safety car came out, so it actually worked out okay. Plus, with the short fill, when the safety car came out, I was probably would have sat longer in the pits waiting for tyres over fuel because there wasn't that much fuel going into it. So yeah, it worked out pretty well.
Worked out very well indeed. And just on Rehan Leonage, the moment of the night for you, mate, was when you moved yourself into effective second there when Rona Costello was leading, but we knew he was off sequence because he didn't take the opportunity to fuel up during the caution. But you guys were going hard and fast. Rehan didn't make it easy, but eventually you held sway and got second, and Jamie capitalised, saw his opportunity and said, I'm going to follow Sean through.
Yeah, it was actually last week we had the same battle. Absolutely love racing against Rehan. For a young kid, he drives well above his years, and yeah, raced him hard, but we both raced pretty fair, I think. And we had first stint as well. We had, I think it went for 7 corners side by side. And then we had the second stint with almost the same thing. So, yeah, it's good. I think he goes a little bit defensive down into those areas, and at tracks like this, it gives you that chance around the outside. So, yeah, really good hard racing, and yeah, look forward to the next one.
Indeed. Dylan, let me come back to you on that note. I mean, it's a long shot, but when Rayner has a shocker like that, it makes the job of clawing back the deficit to these young blokes just a little bit easier.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely makes it a little bit easier, but still have a long way to go. So, yeah.
Indeed. Now, on that note, we've got. I was just going to say, I just got a message in my earpiece saying message sent, but I haven't got anything just through as yet, unless the internet's gone down. Well, actually, the internet can't have gone down at my end because we're doing an internet broadcast, but we'll wait and see on all of that. Now, in saying all of that, let's continue here. Thank you, JP. That's better. Only one driver with a clean race tonight. Only one driver had a 0x tonight. We will reveal who and how a little bit later on, because it might have implications with regards to championship points. And we said it earlier, it's a game of centimetres at times. 1 point for pole position, 5 points for the clean race bonus. A lot hinges on that each and every week here in our coverage of the RSRA Super Series for Goodyear Autocare Warana. So pole for Dylan Rudd, win for Dylan Rudd, 4th on the grid for Sean McNamara, 2nd in the race, 8th on the grid for Jamie Dyke, and 3rd in the race there. So Jamie, let me bring you in at this point in time, and I'll come back to Dylan and to Sean a little bit later on, because there's still obviously plenty of time here and plenty to have a chat about. But and I'm going to throw the reins over to Matt Davis in a moment if he wants to ask you guys a couple of questions as well. But in the meantime, let's go to Jamie, mate. Is qualifying the Achilles heel? Because obviously the racecraft and the race pace is there and it's strong.
It was tonight, I'll be honest. There was a few laps where I was on to do a 21.6. I would have been half a tenth off Dylan. And I just, I don't know if I got distracted or what the go was. I've been doing 21.6s, 21.7s all day at this temp, and I just couldn't put it together. I was so dirty with myself.
And fair enough too. However, because of how tightly bunched the pack was, you were able to stay with them, use the slipstream, the tow, the overtaking opportunities to your advantage, and weasel your way forward.
Well, I actually saw McNamara and Rehan having a little battle about 10, 11 laps in. I thought that would be the perfect time to pit. So strategy was good until the safety car came out, but I'm happy with the podium.
Excellent stuff. And I mean, you're another one in a situation where if things had gone better at the start of the season, the points race would be a totally different ballgame for you right now.
Oh, it's not out of the question yet, mate. There's only, 100 or so in it.
Well, that's true.
You never know what's going to happen at Bathurst with the double points round. Could be pile up. There could be, who knows?
Now, on the note of Bathurst, let's just bring Dylan Rudd back in at this point in time. There's a question mark hovering over your name with regards to the 1,000, apparently.
Yes, at this stage there is.
Fingers crossed that question mark is resolved and becomes a tick, not a cross, with regards to you, mate, because we're looking forward to December 12th. So, Sean, let me ask you this. If Dylan's not there, how does 9.5 SimSport compensate his absence and attack the 1,000? Because obviously it's a situation where if you don't know whether he's going to be there or not, due to unforeseen circumstances, other commitments, that sort of stuff, we won't divulge that information. But Sean, how do you play it from a 9.5 Sim Shed? Sorry, 9.5 SimSport. I'm having a shocker tonight, boys. Sorry about that. Plan of attack for the 1,000 to make sure that you guys can hit the ground running, whether he's here or not.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one, to be honest with you. So we've got Sam and Mitch partnering up in the 952, but Aaron's a little bit out of action at the moment, unfortunately. But so it leaves us a little bit light because Chadwick's unfortunately on leave on holiday and away. So I'll have to get the contract out and just double check to see who's actually allowed to be away that weekend. But it leaves us a bit light. But yeah, so we've got Benny Siren, who's pretty decent at Bathurst. He goes well there, and he's done plenty of V8 stuff. So he's focused on a bit of GT at the moment. But so he's there as a backup if we need it. Dodd is there if we absolutely need him, and but we're pretty confident we'll have Dylan and myself there doing what we need to do. So we'll just play it by ear over the next couple of weeks, and if a certain organisation that needs to make an announcement makes one, we can get it into gear.
Okay, copy that.
So,
Jamie Dyke, what about the Fishy Motorsports stable, mate? Where are you guys going with regards to your plan of attack, your team lineups, etc., and so forth, buddy?
I'm pretty sure Blake is going to be running with David Coleman, and my pair up is a bit on the nose. I'll withhold that until close to the round.
Do you want some good news or some bad news?
What's the bad news?
The bad news is if my mathematics are correct, we've got joint round winners tonight.
there you go.
But Dylan Rudd will get the round win because he took pole and the race win. But Jamie Dyke will leave here with 151 points as well because you were the only driver in the field to have a clean race. Well done.
Thank you.
So 151 points apiece. for Jamie Dyke and Dylan Rudd. And Sean McNamara on 148 is your round podium for the night, ladies and gentlemen. That's exciting news. Matt Davis, I'm going to have a sip of a drink here and try and lubricate the tonsils and try and find some intelligence and let you take over and ask these guys a couple of questions about what was an enthralling motor race just now.
Oh, look, to be honest, okay, you've asked every question under the sun that I was actually going to fire off to these guys. You cover the post race that well that I've got nothing to fire off to these guys. But
don't tell me that we've still got half an hour here. What's going on?
Hey, look, an early post race is a good post race, isn't it? Look, boys, big congratulations. I mean, the big talk for me was actually going to be the Bathurst 1000 and where you guys were going to end up with it, but Zach's just all over it like a red rash and already fired away for me. So no, big congratulations, guys, on the podium win tonight, and obviously Jamie Dyke for equaling out with Dylan Rudd on the round win there. All I can say is Dylan Rudd, you got to slow down a little bit, mate, because you've got to give the boys some form of opportunity to make this interesting.
Some hope.
Yeah, some hope.
In saying that, let's bring Dylan Rudd back in on that note, because I've just got a message from Rainer Costello and saying he doesn't like safety cars. They haven't been his friend the last couple of weeks. The penalty last week, the pit strategy blunder this week. Hopefully, third time not so unlucky for Rainer Costello when the safety car makes its next appearance, which could well and truly be next week when we head to Road America. But Dylan, just when it comes to Mid-Ohio, because we've spoken at length, I've just thought of another couple of questions. So we're good, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be here for a little while. Dylan, when you think about Mid-Ohio and we think about some of the conversations we've had earlier in the season, and you've said that you're not a fan of some of the circuits, clearly this is one of those ones that you are a fan of, and we saw that in the way in which you led from the front and didn't look back. Or not?
Yes, I had to unmute my mic. I was actually surprised with how fast I was here this week, surprisingly. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be as pacey as I was, so yeah.
Jamie Dyke, what about this circuit for you compared to some of the others we've been to? Because really, to be fair, the calendar didn't receive grave reviews. It didn't receive grand, enthusiastic reviews when we revealed it at the start of the season.
I love Mid-Ohio. I reckon, yeah, if I had gotten qualifying right, I possibly could have given Dylan a run for his money. But just wasn't meant to be tonight. But yeah, Mid-Ohio, loved it. On to, Road America next week. That'll be all right, I guess.
We'll have a chat about Road America in just a moment. I mean, when you think about it as well, fellas, we've only got 2 sprint rounds left. And we've only got 1 super sprint round. And then, of course, the Enduro. Only 4 rounds left in the championship. It's all very much coming towards an epic conclusion. Hey, Dylan Rudd, let's bring you in here again. And I'm going to ask Sean McNamara the same question as well, because, boys, I would hate to see, or I'd hate to be seen as being a little bit negative here, but I feel as though there's a little bit of a rhythm to these races at the moment. We haven't seen too much chip and shoulder from you blokes in the opening stint of these races. It seems to be, Dylan, that you guys get into a rhythm, and I don't know whether it's because you're thinking long term, you're thinking after the second pit stop, or you're that evenly matched that there's no point in jockeying for position as early as you do. But it just seems as though that first stint, and we saw it last week at the Interlagos circuit in Brazil as well, it seems to be one of those situations where you guys are happy to sort it out on the opening lap, move into position, and then it's a case of follow the leader for the opening stint. Do you get that sort of feeling as well, Dylan?
Yeah, for the first, and since we have to somewhat double stint the tires, if you take too much energy out of them on the first couple of laps, you're just going to be struggling for 20, 30 odd laps, however many laps you need to do on those tires. So it's just pays to be a little patient in the first couple of laps to have a long-term gain, I suppose.
Not as much patience shown at the back end of the field, though, Sean McNamara, because there were a few penalties handed out by race control in the opening stint. But clearly, at the front of the field, you guys are switched on, and you know the task at hand. It does get a little bit processional, I guess, from a viewing standpoint. But when it heats up, it certainly goes off, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And even it might look a bit processional, but it's not. Yeah, everyone's. Yeah, you're not driving at 10 tenths, but you're focusing on. It's almost if you go back a couple of seasons. I remember Laz dropped the wheel off saving fuel under a safety car once. It's almost harder driving a little bit slower sometimes because it's easier to make that little mistake. But
Yeah.
save it for the end and battle hard. But if there's an opportunity, you take it. But yeah, I think the top 10 at the moment, I think everyone's race pace isn't that different. So everyone's settling into a rhythm, finding their space. And if you've got a shot, you take it. But there's no point in throwing away a race early. There's a lot of respect there at the moment, which is great.
All right, good stuff. And Jamie Dykes, for you, I mean, we mark your consistency. We look at that and we highlight that as one of the reasons why you were the Triple Crown champion last time out, and why you've been able to factor into the championship equation as well. You must take confidence, though, out of the ever increasing improvement in your general race results and your outright pace as well.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty stoked with how it's going. Everyone driving so clean, and as McNamara said, it's great to have everyone doing their own thing, finding their rhythm, and then going for it if they think they got it. It's getting that clean at the front that it's becoming difficult to make those passes, and it's providing some really good racing.
Well, that's exactly right, and the racing, I think you've hit the nail on the head. The racing has only got better with the skill set of the field, raising the bar each and every week, and that's thanks to the emergence of the talent of Rehan Leonage, of Dylan Wright, of yourself, and obviously McNamara's been here for a while. So no, it's terrific to see, and no three seasons have played the same, have they? We've had different narratives to follow all the way along, and Matt Davis, I think that's what whets the appetite most when we look towards December 12, the way in which you can kind of draw up a form guide, but at one point along the way on that Sunday, we're going to rip it up and throw it out the window.
Yeah, I mean we know what Bathurst is like. It happens every year. We see one car running strong out front, and then the safety car comes out, throws the strategies up the wall and out the window at an extremely rapid pace, like going down Conrod Straight, and we got to scratch our heads and try and pick it all out all over again, and try and weed out the drivers that could be on the pace and the drivers that aren't. So it's one race that I'm extremely looking forward to. I mean, we did last year, and I enjoyed it, not even being a commentator, and we just did it off the fly, and we're both very, very new to the series as well. Myself for commentating, but you definitely new to the series, and we probably made it one of the best broadcasts RSR has seen. So I'm definitely keen to top it again this year, and with new drivers to boot, this could probably be one of the most thrilling Bathurst 1000s that we've ever seen.
We're topping it, all right, because we've taken it from 2 broadcasts to 3, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking forward to that. More details on that in just a moment. In the meantime, let's have a look. Do we want to go championship points or thank yous first, JP, in my ear, please? All right, let's go championship points. Let's go championship points at this point in time, and then we'll get the boys to thank some sponsors, and then we'll get Matt Davis to preview what's going on tomorrow night, and then we'll get the hell out of here and give everyone the slightest of early marks. Rehan Leonage, that lead remains, but look who's second. Look who's second. It's 29 points, Leonage to McNamara. I think it was 28 at the start of the night, so somehow in there he's found 1 point. McNamara on 1,000 18 clear of Costello. Geez, that was costly, wasn't it? When you look at that, I mean, he was
It
four
is.
up on Sean at the start of the night. Now he's only 5 clear of Jamie Dyke, who is charging hard like a train at this point in time. He's a genuine threat at this point. Blake Delaney, 892, 882 for Dylan Rudd. So Dylan Rudd, again, just slowly but surely up the
Contender.
train, if you don't mind. And he's got it back to within a race as well. That's 147 points on screen there. 156 is the maximum you can take out of a round at the moment. Dylan Rudd is here to play. So we've got 6 genuine championship contenders at the moment. Dean Alessi, Craig Schultz, Brian Borg, and David Kirby make up the top 10. And 227, the deficit between first, or the difference between first and 10th in all of that.
Well, in saying that,
Good, Bailey, Hobbs, and Vela make up the top 15. Go, Matt.
But before we quickly cycle through, don't forget double points round at the end of the year too, Zach Caven.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say top 10 is a real threat.
Well, theoretically, yes. But with no disrespect to the guys outside the top 6, do we see the guys in the top 6 either A, not featuring at the top end of the field on December 12, or B, heaven forbid something goes wrong and they crash out?
Well, it is Bathurst.
Yeah. So, I mean, legitimately, yeah, you're absolutely right. There are more than, obviously, 6 title contenders. But at the moment, in terms of for the next 3 weeks, where 150 are on the line, not 300,
Correct.
and we'll reassess in the next couple of weeks, because we know that these margins will ebb and flow, bend and stretch between now and the week of December 6 to 12, when we've got 3 days of coverage for you from the Goodyear Autocare Warana Bathurst 1000. Well, those points keep cycling on through there on your screen, and we'll get some thank yous from the boys here. We will give you a slight early mark tonight, boys, because you've been so well behaved. Let's go with Jamie Dyke first up, 3rd place.
I'd like to thank, obviously, our sponsors, Black Wolf Graphics, Sideways Photography, Precision Sim Training, DC Shades, and Relax Marine and Game Fishing. All the boys in the team done some epic practice for this week, and just it shows it. Blake coming P5 and Coleman coming P14, top half of the field with a spin. So well done, boys. You deserved this. Coleman, you deserve a bit better, but anyway. Everyone that's running the show, stewards, broadcast, JP, and yeah, thank you. Well done to Dylan and McNamara. Have to get them next week.
Well done to you, Jamie Dyke. Excellent performance, and looking forward to stick around, mate. I'm going to get your thoughts on Ride America. I haven't forgotten about that. It's just I want to cycle through the thank yous before we do forget them, and obviously we'll thank our sponsors as well. We'll probably still stretch it to 20 past 10, but that's a good thing. Dylan Rudd, I'll come to you in a moment. On a night where it was a 9-5 Sim Sport 1-2, let's go to the team boss himself, Sean McNamara.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Obviously, and same as Jamie said, the entire league, everyone behind the scenes, JP for what he does. I don't think anyone really realises just how much work the man puts in. Of course, yourself and Maddie and everyone for Wednesday nights as well. So, yeah, bravo. Well done to Jamie, and killer result for the 9-5 boys. So, stoked with that. But our sponsors, of course, SRT Australia, Racecraft Simulations, Racing Ears, Custom Ears Protection, iClean Solar, Ipswich and Brisbane. Cutting Edge Tracks Australia, and Bella Media, sorry, Maddie, AD 3D printing services. So thanks to all those guys.
Just getting a news alert coming through here as well, guys, with regards to anyone up northbound here in Queensland. The Bruce Highway is shut 73 kilometres north of Rockhampton. Anyone up that way that is watching the broadcast or is heading that way in the near future, and it's shut due to flooding. So there's a hell of a lot of rain out there on the way. Batten down the hatches, folks, and hopefully stay safe as well. Now, Sean McNamara, congratulations to you. Awesome result. 2nd, and a good run of podiums for you, actually, mate, that you've been racking up this season. This is the pick of the bunch thus far. Let's not count chickens before they hatch here, but 2nd's a very good place to be right now.
Yeah, it's always had a couple of rough seasons. This one's been a good one. So again, quality of driving, and I've limited some of my mistakes, and to only be whatever it is, 20 odd points off the lead, with plenty of points up for grabs. If we keep it clean, who knows what'll happen.
One more question to you before I go to Dylan Rudd. How difficult is it to? I'm going to come back and get your thoughts on Road America in just a moment as well. But how difficult is it for you when you're in a situation where you've had a couple of those rough seasons, and you're looking at your own performance and ways in which you can nut out some gremlins there? You can only do so much in that regard, though, because the other unknown is, the other 33 lunatics around you. How do you prepare for that? Because that's the great unknown of this game.
Yeah, you can't. I think last season I learnt a lot about the other 33 lunatics, but more so what I could have done to avoid things. You've got to look at every incident, and there's some things where you can just do absolutely nothing. But there's some things where you can take a lot out of it and go, yeah, car placement wasn't the best there, and yes, he got me, but you know what, I could have been somewhere else. So you got to look at every incident. I'm quite analytical in how I process things. So I always say to the boys, when they've had an incident on track, just stop, boys, review it before you comment, because you just don't know. And what could you have done? And I think that's what I've taken into this season is, just car placement, being a little bit smarter about where I'm going to drop it, and not just be so aggressive in those opening couple of laps. So we'll see how it goes for the rest of the season.
All right, mate. Well done. Stay there for me. Coming back to you in a moment. Dylan Rudd, to you. First up, I'll let you do some thank yous as you have your time in the spotlight in centre stage here.
I'd just like to thank all the guys at 95 SimSport. They put in a lot of hard work behind the scenes. Our sponsors, SRT Australia, Racecraft Simulations, Bauer Media, Racing Ears, Custom Ear Protection, 3D printing services, Cutting Edge Tracks, and RSW Graphics, and the other boys for the podium.
Well done, mate. Congratulations. Now, next week, sprint racing is back. We go to Road America. So take pit stops and the like out of the equation and just think hard, fast racing. And that's exactly what Road America is. Cannot wait for that. But the great unknown there is the reverse grid race. However, to be fair, it's probably a little bit easier for you guys, and it's the second leg of the Triple Crown, I should point out as well. Probably a little bit easier than the last venue that we went reverse grid racing at, which was the Hungaroring. Oh, hang on just one sec, Dylan. I'm going to come back to you in a moment. I'm just getting it in my earpiece. JP, you've got some breaking news here.
Yeah, we do have some breaking news. The Brains Trust of the series has sat down and has decided to do away with reverse grid racing as of the next Super Sprint round, which is going to be Road America. Kidding? So the way it's going to work is the drivers are going to qualify. They're going to race, and their qualifying positions their finishing positions for race 1 will determine their starting positions for race 2.
Well, there's some breaking news that throws a spanner in the works, because I was just about to ask these blokes, JP and Matt Davis as well. You can chime in on this, and this will get us up to the broadcast window now. We've got a bit more to discuss. This is one of those things, isn't it, though? A change on the fly, probably on the back of the shenanigans we saw at the Hungaroring, no doubt. But at the end of the day, and this is the question I was just about to pose to Dylan, or I'd already posed to Dylan, as I got it in my earpiece. The fact of the matter is that when you look at a circuit like Road America, a lot more runoff area, a lot more overtaking opportunities. So it's a little bit disappointing, in my opinion. And I think a few of the viewers at home as well might feel the same way. I'm not sure how the drivers feel. We'll hear from them in just a moment. But when you look at the fact that all those things I've just mentioned, a little bit disappointing that we won't have a reverse grid feature next week. Nat?
I'm sorry. I completely sidetracked. I'm actually doing bookwork on the side. Let's start off with Sean, and I'll try and come up with an answer.
All right. Okay. Go, Sean.
So it's just to spice it up, just a touch though. So race 2 will have a pit stop. So
right.
It will be fuel certain. So there'll be a pit stop for race 2, which will add a bit of spice to it. But I think the reverse grids, I guess, over the past few seasons have been ebb and flowing as to whether or not they've worked well or not. I think after that last one, and even tonight, some of the incidents in that mid-pack to back sort of highlight the fact that I guess we probably just need to settle it. And it's going to be good. Road America, regardless, is a good passing track. So yeah, I think it'll spice it up all the way across the field as opposed to having the shine taken off. I guess with some incidents, but it's still going to be a cracking race.
Jamie, I don't know how you feel about it. I'm going to come to Dylan after I jump in with you here, but it's one of those interesting ones, isn't it? Sean mentioned that you saw with the last time round and even tonight, some of the mid-pack stuff. Some of those reverse grid races have been absolute ball terrors. Some of them have not. Some hit, some miss. I think it might be one of those things that might be venue determinant.
Yes. I don't mind a good reverse grid, but also in saying that, I got taken out at Hungaroring, so what do I know?
Was that first race or second race? Because I think just about the entire field got cleaned up in the first one.
To be honest, I can't remember. I'll put it behind me. I was over that.
Yeah, fair enough.
But for me, it is track dependent. I don't like Road America. I believe it's a draft heavy, or draft heavy is understatement, and I've never suited it. Reverse
grid racing is one of those things where you're either relying on overtaking opportunities, attrition, or racecraft. Dylan Rudd, he exerts all three. He's got he's had moments where he's been caught up in fuel shortages, so that's adds to the attrition. He's got good racecraft. He's excellent with his overtaking. How do you feel about Road America as a circuit, as a venue for a championship round for one, and then the prospect of not having to drive through the field, mates, and the prospect of potentially going through two start procedures potentially on that front row of the grid?
Road America, it's can't pull away because of the draft. It's a bit ridiculous. The reverse grid, I was actually kind of looking forward to the reverse grid to try and make some points up in the championship, but it's kind of gone out the window now. So yeah, it'll be good racing though, but yeah, should see how it pans out next week.
And well done, boys, because that's just about going to do us for a Tuesday night. I promised to get you out of here early, obviously, with that breaking news. We've been back a few minutes later than planned, but well done. I'm looking forward to Road America. As I say, awesome circuit. One of the longest on the calendar, because we haven't gone to Spa this particular season. It's America's version of Bathurst. Everyone wants to do well there, and it's a fast-paced racetrack. Not without risk. But with risk comes reward, and we'll see who reaps rewards next week. Sean McNamara, Jamie Dyke, Dylan Rudd, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And Matt Davis, stay with me here. Your thoughts on the fact that reverse grid racing has been punted, for lack of better words, next week?
I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
I know.
From
I was excited too, all right.
From a commentator's point of view, Zach Caven and JP, I mean, speechless. That's all I can say. Absolutely shattered. No, look, it's going to be good. To look on the bright side, not from a commentator's point of view, not just from a driver's point of view, but just on the brighter side of things. It's going to be good to see a bit of a mix-up in racing for a change. I mean, it's the reverse grids have been a bit repetitive, should I say? As harsh as it's going to sound, it has been a little bit repetitive. The same drivers making the same mistakes over and over again, sprint race in, sprint race out. So, to really throw it in the mix and make these drivers start to perform like they've got not just one race to perform, but they've got the two races to perform. And the second one, or the first one, an all-out sprint, that's what they're used to. They qualify, they sprint, they know what's going to happen. But now they're going to have to be cautious because they can't, not throw it away or sandbag it, but more the fact that they've got to really try their best to start the front of the field for the next race to improve their chances for the overall night. So, they're having a really good race. They're up 10 positions from 20th and they're sitting inside the top 10. Maybe they've got the progression to keep on going and really start the challenge. So we might see some drivers really start to gel with this idea. So I'm actually as shattered as I am and speechless as I am about it. I'm really, really excited. It's a mixture of emotions, Zach Caban, and I'm sure you're with me on this page.
You and I are in 100% agreement. There aren't too many times where we're not, mate. I'm hearing you. I mean, okay, from an entertainment standpoint, nothing tops that. Nothing tops that moment earlier in the year where we had the Hungarian ballet unfolding before our very eyes on the main straight at the Hungaroring. How that didn't make highlight reels around the world, I'm not entirely sure, but
I'm sure it has.
The old pirouette special. But in saying that as well, you take it out of there, you throw a fuel stop at them in the second race. I think that'll throw the cat amongst the pigeons with regards to strategy play, and it'll be interesting to see.
Definitely.
Of course, I think if the rules are the same, it won't be tyres. It'll just be, splash and dash and that sort of stuff. But in terms of picking your moment, capitalising, going into pit lane, trying to get the undercut or the overcut, there could be a couple of surprises thrown in to the mix there, a couple of spanners in the works as well next week. But hey, who am I to question the judgment of our superiors, and they're doing a superb job as well. Now, in saying all of that, one thing I would like to see somewhere down the track, and I'm just spitballing here, either we throw a reverse grid at them for the Bathurst 1000, or we throw a reverse grid at them for a 160k race or a 250 kilometre, so that it's not a short, sharp sprint, so that it's, but maybe not Bathurst. That might be a little bit cruel, but
that is.
Actually, I almost went JP cruel then, because he went. He said something about Chicago Street Circuit and the same format. So, but I think Bathurst would be about the same level of difficulty. Anyway, mate, before I wrap it up and get us out of here, right on time for a change instead of late or early. It was going to be early, but then obviously that breaking news threw a spanner in the works. But in saying all of that, there's a lot to look forward to tomorrow night when you and Dean Reddit reconvene at 8:20.
Yeah, for sure, Zach. I mean, it's Wednesday night motorsport, ladies and gentlemen. It's the RSRS Super 2 E-Series brought to you by the DSL Welding Services. And unfortunately, we had to miss last week, and we're extremely glad to have JP back on deck, firing on... might just be 7 cylinders, but 7's better than none. So,
6.5.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good to have him back on deck, and we're definitely going to be catching up on all the motorsport that we missed last week. I might have to speak to JP about it. If we are all on the same deck and we can get on broadcast, say 5 minutes early, we might be able to do a quick 5-minute recap for you, everybody at home who has been following for the season, and our dedicated long supporters who follow us week in, week out, wherever we go around the world. But definitely Kai Turner's going to start shaking things up. It's coming towards the end of the season. Who's going to start challenging him for that championship win? We're just going to have to wait and find out, wait and see. So join in tomorrow night from 8:20 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Times to see myself and Dean Reddit call probably one of the most spectacular up-and-coming series of the Super 2 known on the sim racing platform of iRacing. So definitely, if you can, Zach, at some stage after you finish up with the GSRC, if you want, pop over if we're still running, mate. But if not, we'll most likely get you to catch up on a Thursday night, which you can now since you're available.
Exactly right. So looking forward to that. And of course, you, Dean, and I are going to spend multiple hours together in Discord over the next few weeks getting ready for the Goodyear Autocare Warana Bathurst 1000.
Tonight being the start of it.
Yeah, exactly right. Let's have a look ahead on the platforms of SimShed Broadcasting, wherever you're tuning in around Australia, as Matt Davis just said. It is round 7 for those guys tomorrow night. Mid-Ohio, the venue, 160 kilometres. Looking forward to that immensely. And that'll be 8:20 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And then we're off to Road America, ladies and gentlemen, next Tuesday with around 8 of the series, the 4th last one, the final super sprint of the season, but no reverse grid. That's the breaking news as we leave you on a Tuesday night, 8:20 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Still the same procedure for a super sprint format with the exception of the reverse grid. So it'll be intro, go through the motions, qualifying results, hot lap, all that sort of stuff. Race 1, gap, race 2, post-race. Looking forward to it immensely. It is a round of the Triple Crown as well. So looking forward to that immensely. Now, a couple of thank yous from our end as we leave you tonight. Firstly, to the great people at Goodyear Autocare Warana, DSL Welding, us, Dragon RC, Blue Stampede Labour Hire, and also SDK Gaming and Track Cams for Gourmet. Don't forget it, Goodyear Autocare Warana, a 4-4-3 deal on selected Goodyear tyres. Buy 3, get 1 free, rather, not buy 1, get 1 free. That's motorcycles, isn't it? Buy 3, get 1 free on selected Goodyear passenger and 4x4 tyres there. The Dragon RC Triple Crown back next week. Looking forward to that immensely. Hope you've enjoyed it tonight. Hey, well done to Jamie Dyke. Didn't get the round on us. That'll go to Dylan Rudd, but he finished on level pegging with the championship leader by virtue of being the only clean racer out there. Well, actually, that's not fair. The only 0x racer out there as the field was concerned, and looking forward to seeing what he can do next week now that he's firmly cemented in the top 5 of the championship. Looking forward to seeing if Dylan Rudd can keep on climbing back or clawing his way back through the field. Can Rayner bounce back? What can Sean do? Can anyone stop Rehan Leonage from taking this title? Consistency is going to be the key, and that guy's got it in spades at the moment. Not a podium result tonight, but he pushed Jamie Dyke every step of the way. No doubt Jamie had to work for his podium there. Hope you've enjoyed it. Matt Davis, thank you very much. Appreciate you stopping by.
More than welcome.
And JP, thank you to you as well. Hope you've enjoyed it at home. Another win for Dylan Rudd. The number 1 keeps on trucking along, and had it not been for the absence at Long Beach, this championship would be very much in his favour at this point in time. But he's less than a race away. Let's see what the Road America double delivers next week. Looking forward to your company for that and more on the platforms of SimShed Broadcasting. And don't forget to join Dean and Matt tomorrow night for the 7th round of the DSL Welding Super 2 E-Series. Looking forward to that from Mid-Ohio as well. For the team, I'm Zach Cape. Have a great night, everybody. From all of us here, bye for now.